Jesse Homestead out there. How are you? Me, I've been better. Let's see. Uh, One of the things I want to talk to y'all about today, and it's mainly because I'm just now starting to recover from my second round with walking pneumonia. Yeah, it's taken its toll on me, and we've been through some very cold snaps and warm snaps, and we got temperatures are like this around here. You're in the teens and 60s and 70s and 80s and back down, and it's like your body can't adjust to it, especially as you age. It gets a lot tougher, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you a little bit about. Okay, I hear a lot of folks making comments and so forth about wanting to be self-sustained homesteads, live off their land and all these kind of things. And they're putting their dreams together and formulating their dreams in their 30s. Okay, and still, maybe by their late 40s, they've actually bought a small place and started a little infrastructure work, maybe, But by the time they get serious about getting out there and really doing anything, and actually living off that land, okay, they're in their 50s. All right. And as a homesteader, when you're in your 50s, you better start. I mean, you may still feel pretty good, okay? Give you some idea. This old man in his 50s was still pressing weights and things of this nature. Not so much anymore. Save what strength and energy I got to get the work I've got to get accomplished. So as you age, you begin to feel it. Okay. And since I'm going to spend some time here talking to myself because we're still offline, I figure this is something that's been weighing on my mind a little bit. Okay. To you homesteaders or future homesteaders that are in your 30s and so forth, okay, let me give you a piece of advice. Get with it. Okay. You need to be out on that land. Okay. You're in your prime then. Every year you let escape you will cost you in the end. Okay. It's that simple. As you age, all right, you're going to be amazed at the changes in your physical capabilities and proneness to illness, things of this nature. And it takes its toll, and it takes its toll very quickly. This last month and a half, I've really paid some prices, folks. Really sick, really ill. But that doesn't mean you lay in bed. Okay, you get up and you do what you got to do. That's simple. Now, some days it was minimal. It really was. The cold weather, I was running around with a scarf wrapped around my head and stuff to try to keep from breathing too much cold air because it really got me coughing and hacking, which felt a little like a mule kicking you in the chest. And you weren't getting much sleep because one of the things with walking pneumonia is when you lay down, you get horizontal. You start building fluids in your lungs and coughing and hacking, and you have to get up. So you get very little sleep. So you're not getting any rest. You're sick as a dog, and the life goes on. It's a homestead. All right. Now, when I'm talking a homestead where you're trying to make a living, and this is what you do every day, hobby farms are different. Okay. just even with the hobby farm, keep in mind that the livestock, the more livestock you put on your farm, the more demanding it becomes. You know, a tomato plant doesn't require daily attention. Okay, an animal does. So try to keep that in mind. And when you're building your homestead, okay, when you're 30, you know, you look over here on this hill and you go, boy, that'd be a great place for a barn, or this would be a nice place to put the chickens over here. And, you know, before long, you have your infrastructure scattered all over your homestead. Don't do it. Okay. What you need to start thinking about in your 30s, when you're putting in the infrastructure of your homestead, how well am I going to be able to maintain this in my 80s? Yeah. When, you know, walking a long distance up a hill is going to cause me a lot of pain. A lot of pain. You're going to think about that. If you're smart, you're going to prepare for that. A lot of folks think, oh, the kids will, you know, kids will be on the farm by then. Not necessarily. Okay, kids, you know, once they become adults, they have their own lives. And whether or not their life means working that farm with you, you don't have any guarantees of that. So are you willing to put the sum total of your dream of being an independent homesteader on the backs of your children? Can't ask them to do that. You know, there's times when you have to go, I've got to be in a situation to where no matter what, I can continue to be on the land. That's simple. So think about that when you're setting up your infrastructure. You want your barns, your chicken coops, things of this nature close into your house. Okay? Where you don't have to hike a mile to get to a barn, or you know, drive your tractor in you know, 0-degree temperatures with a hard wind blowing halfway across the place to pick up a roll of hay to give your animals. You won't be like that. So think, okay? Think about what you're going to be doing, and you know, the handicaps you're going to be working with as you age. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not a dilapidated old fart. Well, maybe. Today I feel it. Okay, and that's the way it is. There's days when you can, you know, stand shoulder to shoulder with a 20-year-old, okay, and wear him out. Then there's days when you're doing good and just keep standing. Okay. Courtesy of our government, you know, I have about 1.5 tons of metal in my body, and cold days, I can forecast it'll rain with these joints. Okay. You know, I refer to my hips that let me know that yeah, the weather's changing. Yeah, long before there's any change, because they start bothering you. And then as you get in the middle of the weather change, especially if it's going cold, you know, you will be amazed at the pain just to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Try to think about things like this when you're laying out your homestead. But do understand, the longer you wait, the more painful homesteading will be to you. It affects all of us, you know. And it's something we don't talk about. And we probably need to motivate you. You know, for heaven's sakes, you know, a lot of folks want to get off in their own homesteads, unplugged from this crazy world that we're living in, and they feel an urgency to do it. Well, there's a reason for that, folks. This is a house of cards. It's going to collapse. Okay. Right now, your government is slapping a mortgage on your grandchildren. They've done mortgaged you to the hilt. They've done mortgaged your family your kids to a hilt. Now they're working on your grandkids. No end in sight. Okay. And if people want to get involved in politics, right there's where it really needs to begin. We need to convince this government that's enough. We will no longer tolerate you borrowing on our future. You need to get your budget under control. You need to get your house in order. And you need to start paying this money off. And we've had about enough of this. And if you don't get on board with that, we're going to vote you out of office. We don't care what party you're with. We're going to vote you out of office. And get with it. Stand with it. Once these people understand that your odds of getting reelected as an incumbent, when you fail to aggressively attack the budget, aggressively cut down the deficit, means you're leaving Washington next election. The group coming in behind them will get the message. If they don't, the one after them surely will. Think about that, folks. We are so far in debt as a nation. That's probably where your stuff hitting the fan, or world without order, and all this kind of nonsense. That's what's going to stem from, folks. It's going to stem from a financial collapse, and it's on the horizon. And you start putting 2 and 2 together, okay? You quickly see that, well, let me ask you this. If you were 20 times more in debt than you had in income, and that debt's climbing every day, okay, how long do you think it'll be before you collapse in total financial collapse? Countries can put it off longer, but they're no different than you. Sooner or later, nobody wants to carry their notes. Nobody's going to cut any more loans. They're going to want their money back. Okay? We don't have it to give them. Not going to make us real popular in the world. So try to think about the political ramifications of all it, and think about maybe standing up and doing something with it. It takes you getting aggressive. But to you young folks in your 20s and 30s who are wanting to become homesteaders, you can't wait. It's kind of like having children. If you wait till it's perfect time, you'll never have kids, okay? Because there's no perfect time. You're going to have to stand up, toughen up. Yeah, that's right. I said toughen up there, Buttercup, okay? And get it done. Period. Do what you have to do to get it done. Because let me tell you something. Building a homestead isn't something that happens overnight. Unless you are the Rockefellers and you got more money than sense. And if you're out blowing money like a wild man, I can guarantee you, you're going to be just like our gunman, but you'll collapse a lot faster. And I've seen it so much. And it's sad. Use your brain. Stay away from debt. But quit giving yourself excuses for continuing in the rat race. Okay? Because, and many aren't going to like this comment, it takes guts to stand up and walk away from it. It takes a lot of internal fortitude to say I've had enough. And I'm not doing this anymore. Okay? And sometimes you'll pay a heck of a price for that decision. But it's a price you have to pay. There's a lot of wonderful things about it. A lot of beauty. It's a spectacular way to live. But it's also got its fair amount of hardships. You need to plan for those hardships and understand you're going to get old. Happens to everybody. And things are going to be tougher. Start making the plans and adjustments. Learn to work smart, not hard. But most importantly, folks, you young people is who I'm talking to. You better get with it. You're wasting time at this point. It's just going to be tougher every year that goes by. Set your goals. Scratch them off your list one at a time. Get it done. If you're really serious. And if you're not, if you just like pretending, well, continue to pretend. But don't be out giving people advice that are trying to do it. All right? Sit back and learn a few more gardening tips and things of this nature. And there's a difference, folks, when you're trying to live off your land. I'll tell you, there's different levels of homesteading. That's something else. You need to pick your level. What am I comfortable with? What can I really do? Because let me tell you something. When you try to take it on full time, no other real main sources, no outside jobs, things of this nature, you better have some skills in place. You're not going to be able to afford to hire a carpenter or a plumber or electrician or a diesel mechanic or a mechanic or a carpenter. You're it. Tag. You better have the skills. Otherwise, you'll turn your homestead into a mess in a heartbeat. Truly, you will. Get your skills. Quit giving yourself excuses of why you can't do it this year, why you can't do it next year. Get out there and get it done. Clock's ticking on you, kids. It's called age. It's coming at you. Even though right now in your early 30s or whatever, you don't think so. Okay? It is. You're going to wake up one morning with a bunch of gray hair and go, whoa, who's that old dude looking back at me? Seriously. It happens that quickly. Keep it in mind. Just some food for thought. You don't have an attorney out in eternity. Okay. To get this done. You got a short time here on planet Earth. And this is a goal of yours. Better get with it. You don't have a lot of years. And you need all the youth, all the stamina, all the strength that youth gives you to get it done. So that when you get gray hairs, achy bones, okay, and your health starts fading, you're not out here trying to rebuild and redo, and you pretty much got it whipped. And now you can start looking at, how do I streamline this and make it easier for me as I go along. Think about it, guys. Don't start throwing around nasty comments, but think about it. If you're serious, get off your duff and get it done. That's kind of like your dad talking to you. Don't want your reasons for not doing it. Okay? Don't even want to hear it. I worked for a fellow that had a big sign back behind his desk, and I always looked at that and I thought, yeah, makes sense. He said, don't give me reasons. Give me results. Say you want to be a homesteader? Show me the results of that desire. Get it done. Don't give me the reasons why you can't. Reasons are for quitters. Results, yeah, they're for homesteaders. This is Rich Jizzy Homestead. Love yous and appreciate yous. Think on that a little bit. You guys take care. See what happens when I have all this time to talk to myself.